All right, today we're diving into the Tripura Rahasya, a really cool ancient text that tackles one of the biggest questions in life. But get this, instead of some dry philosophical lecture, it gives us an epic story about a warrior who conquered the entire world but couldn't conquer himself, a prince who's head over heels in love, and a very, very mysterious princess.
So this is the question that was absolutely haunting one of ancient India's mightiest warriors, a guy named Parsurama. This man had conquered the known world 21 times over, but he couldn't shake this profound confusion he felt deep inside about the fleeting nature of it all.
Okay, let's get right into it. The story kicks off with a hero who, on paper, has everything. We're talking immense power, fame, a crazy long list of victories, and yet, despite all that, he feels completely and utterly lost. Just try to wrap your head around that. 21 successful campaigns, an absolutely unmatched record. But after finally facing one humbling defeat, he's just left with this profound emptiness. Suddenly, all those victories felt hollow, and the world itself just seemed like some kind of meaningless temporary show. He quickly realized his sword and shield were totally useless against this kind of inner enemy. He needed a different kind of guide. A teacher who could maybe shed some light on the fundamental truth of the universe, something way beyond the endless cycle of just winning and losing. Now, this is where things get really interesting. See, Dr. Treya's teaching style is, well, it's pretty unique. He doesn't just sit Parshurama down and give him a boring philosophy lesson. No, instead, he tells him a story. The answers to the warrior's biggest, most profound questions are all cleverly hidden inside someone else's journey. It's a classic story within a story, and it's designed to teach you through experience, not just by telling you facts. So in this story, we meet Prince Himachyuta. He is completely in love with his wife, Himaleka, but he just can't figure her out. She's loving, she's present, but she's got this serene detachment. Even in moments of what should be the greatest pleasure, her mind seems to be somewhere else entirely, just peaceful and completely undisturbed. So to explain what's going on with her, Himaleka doesn't give him a straight answer. Of course not. Instead, she tells him this bizarre and, as it turns out, incredibly profound parable about her own life, which is really a symbolic map of the human mind. The main character in her story is a guy named Mr. Inconstant. He can travel anywhere, think about anything in an instant, but he is fundamentally restless. This, she explains, is the mind. It's always moving, always flitting about, never truly at rest. So he marries a woman named Madame Vorax, and her name tells you everything you need to know. She represents insatiable desire. No matter what Mr. Inconstant brings her, it's never enough. She is always, always hungry for more. And their first kid, he's called Master Flaming Mouth. Because what happens when desire isn't met? Or when you get what you want and then you lose it? Well, anger arises. And it's this destructive, painful force that just burns the very mind that created it in the first place. So this is the crucial lesson from her weird little story. The mind literally creates its own prison. It endlessly chases things outside of itself through desire, and when that desire is inevitably frustrated, it gets consumed by anger. It's a self-perpetuating cycle of misery. Now, that whole parable about the mind, it's actually the key to unlocking a much, much bigger idea. An idea about the very nature of reality itself. The text then hits us with this fascinating question. How is our waking life really any different from a dream? Think about it. Both feel completely real and totally logical while we're inside them. When you're dreaming, you don't question it. And then you wake up and poof, the dream's reality is just gone. The waking world is kind of the same, isn't it? Okay, so that leads us to the ultimate question, right? If all of our experiences, waking, dreaming, all these characters running around in our heads, if they're all just fleeting phenomena, then what's the one thing that's actually real? What's the constant underlying reality? And this right here perfectly illustrates the central teaching. The idea is that the entire universe is like a movie playing on a screen. The images, the stories, the feelings, they all appear and disappear. The only thing that's truly real, the only thing that's constant, is the screen itself, pure, unchanging consciousness. So that's a pretty mind-bending idea. But how does someone actually experience this fundamental reality instead of just talking about it? Well, the text lays out a direct path.
The Tripura Rahasya outlines a direct path of what it calls self-inquiry. It's a kind of meditation where you systematically investigate what you are not. So first, you turn your attention inward, away from all the world's distractions. Then you start asking, am I my body? Am I just my thoughts? The whole goal is to quiet that restless mind, to stop the constant chatter, and discover the silent, aware presence that lies underneath it all.
And this brings us full circle, back to our warrior Parashurama. After hearing the story and understanding this practice, he finally gets it. The lasting peace he was so desperately searching for wasn't in conquering external kingdoms. It was in understanding the nature of his own consciousness. This inner knowledge was his true and ultimate victory.
And so, the text leaves us all with a final question to ponder for ourselves. If your life, your thoughts, your entire world are just images appearing on the screen of consciousness, then who or what is the one watching the show?